Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. For those of you who are new to my channel, child, let me introduce you to the Jungle Beauty Goddesses, the life-size fabric sculptures you see sitting behind me. I created these dolls myself, and as I was sewing them, they would not stop talking to me, and this led to my Jungle Beauty Goddess book series, which led to my Jungle Beauty Goddess Oracle deck that I'm going to use today to give you a message about love, child. The first card I have for you, it has the, this is Dr. Lunar M. Crater, child. I don't know if you can see here, but he's holding a picture of Jungle Beauty Goddess Cyanide. He absolutely adores her. And he says, if it doesn't drive you a little crazy, it isn't love. The next card I have for you is from Jungle Beauty Goddess Katara. And her message is, discover what you do better than most. This is your path to prosperity. The next card I have for you is from Jungle Beauty Goddess Kalahari, who represents our heart chakra. She says, if you need to ask questions about love, you already know the answer. The next card I have for you, darling, is from Demeter, who is the father of the Jungle Beauty Goddesses, and his message to you is, your life is a reflection of your daily actions. The next card I have for you is from Jungle Beauty Goddess Katara, and Jungle Beauty Goddess Katara's message to you, darling, is, true beauty is an act well done. And the last card I have for this reading is, we have Jungle Beauty Goddess Cyanide and Dr. Lunar M. Crater, and it says, your love is as ancient as the sea. So we just don't talk, okay, about love, because everybody knows there's a different types of love. There is, you can love a person, you can love a TV show, you can love a painting, right? You can love a book, but is it all the same type of love? Well, we're going to talk about the kind of love that causes us to push ourselves. Let me see. I was thinking about this. I think love is actually maybe elbow grease in a way. But anyway, this is the thing about love that I think that a lot of times I don't know if people understand. So let's just say you decide that you want to be a doctor, right? And you go to school to be a doctor, and it's just a lot of work, and the classes are challenging and difficult, and it's expensive, and you're asking yourself constantly, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? You know why you're doing it? Because you love it. You're doing it because you love it. And when you love something, only love can give you the fortitude and the determination to persevere. I'm telling you, when people have babies and the baby is up all night and the baby is crying, the baby is colicky, and it's expensive and it's a lot of work, and people say, well, God, why would you have a baby? Because you love it. But it's the same determination. It's the same, well, I don't know if determination is the right word I would use for taking care of your baby, but I promise you that if you're working on your doctorate degree, if you have a baby, if you're working on a business, if you are working on anything that you love, darling, I promise you it is going to push you, it is going to challenge you, and it's not going to be that easy. It's going to drive you crazy. It is going to drive you crazy. Just like Dr. Lunar M. Crater says, if it doesn't drive you a little crazy, it isn't love. And when I'm talking about not just, how do you think people stay in relationships? How do you think they make relationships work? You thought it was just easy. They never had any difficulties. They never had any challenges. No, darling, they worked it out because they really loved each other. So if you love something, if you love You know, if you want to own your own bakery, if you think it's just going to be all peaches and cream and it's going to be super easy for you and everything's just going to fall in your lap, that means you don't love it. Because if you change your mind the minute things become difficult, then it was, that never was love. Like, for example, I have students who go into teaching, and after they finish school, and they get their first classroom, they're in the classroom, and then I've seen them like maybe working at Walmart, and I'm just like, hey, last time I talked to you, you had your own classroom. They were just like, well, the kids are like uncontrollable, and it was going to be like this. I'm just going to be honest, it's because you didn't love it. When you love something, I know you might be thinking like, but no, you can love something, but no. When you love something, you are prepared to do the hard work. It's love that gets you through the challenges. It's love that pulls you through the kids throwing the spitballs in the classroom, and you thought you were going to quit, but you couldn't quit because Johnny finally learned how to write his name. You know what I'm saying? No, it's love that pulls you through the difficulties. So that's one thing. When he says, if it doesn't drive you crazy, it isn't love. Now, the other part of it is your love is as ancient as the sea. Now, this is, I pulled some of these cards from my love deck. But basically, I think that people think that you choose who and what to love, but I don't believe that. I believe that it chose you, or you chose it before you incarnated in this lifetime. No, you didn't just say, come on guys, let's just have a moment. Do you honestly feel in your heart that you chose the people that you love? Have you ever just loved somebody and you don't know why you love them? And you're thinking to yourself, like, I must be insane. Like, this is not healthy. This is not a good, why am I doing this? Why? Because you had no control, darling. And when you can control it, it's not love. I don't care what anybody says. That's just my opinion. When you choose, like, you've had friends and maybe they kind of stabbed you in the back a little bit, you forgave them, right? Your parents, they're not perfect, but you love them. Why? Because the relationship is as ancient as the sea. You don't choose the things you love. The things you love choose you, darling. Okay? That's another thing. You're just kind of like, oh, I don't know why I love math, or I don't know why I love, doing. No, because you shouldn't know why you love it, because the seed was planted before you incarnated. It was the seed. What causes you to love something, the feeling of love was there before you were there, before you incarnated here. Okay? So it chose you, darling. Now, we're going to move to true beauty is an act well done. Now, true beauty is an act well done. This is connected to love. See, listen. You are never going to be more beautiful than the lives that you touch, than the people you inspire, the art that you make, the songs that you sing. Your true beauty is when you stick to something, or when you do something, and it is when your inner beauty glows and it grows and it expands, and you loved it so much to perfect it. Have you ever eaten food before and you thought, oh my God, this is the best sandwich I ever had because somebody put love into it? And they probably threw away a couple sandwiches because maybe, it was not the perfect color. It wasn't toasted perfect enough. Or maybe they just thought, oh, this bread is too hard or it's too old. Have you ever eaten food from somebody who is so passionate about what they do and they love it so much? Like, I have watched my daughter bakes, and I have watched her throw batch after batch after batch of cupcakes away because it's not perfect. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why? That's a lot of work, because she loves it, because she loves what she's doing. And whenever someone loves what they're doing, you can taste it, you can see it, you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? So true beauty real beauty, people aren't going to remember how you look, darling, but people are going to remember how you made them feel about themselves, how you inspired them, how you, like something that you have created that took their consciousness to another level. Have you ever like looked at something before and you just thought, oh my God, if I could just have just like a little bit of that, I could be so much more. People remember that kind of thing. So when you love something, you are able to ignite your inner beauty, and your inner beauty is what inspires other people. And this is what other people admire, and this is what is eternal. This is what people will remember about you even when you're gone, child. People are not talking about Shakespeare, oh my God, he had muscles. I don't know what he looked like, by the way. But what people remember is to be or not to be, and that is the question, right? So your inner beauty is created by your love for something, and it is your love that pushes you to keep trying until something is perfected, right? Or until something is beautiful, until something is magical, and that it attracts the admiration and it attracts the admiration of others, but most importantly, it inspires others because you loved it so much to stick with it and to do it until it was perfect in your eyes. So when we love something, our daily actions is a reflection of it. So let's just say you love baking, but you hardly ever bake. Or you say you really love kids and you want to be a pediatrician, but you never enrolled in school. Love also is reflected in your life every day. So I'm not going to say that I sew every day, but I sew enough. And then when I start sewing, sometimes it's like, it's hard for me to do anything else. It's hard for me to, eat sometimes because I become obsessed by sewing. But when you love something, it's reflected in your life, your actions, what you do. It's not I'm going to do that one day. No, love is so demanding that it is going to force you to express it in your life, in your daily life. And if not your daily life, definitely, let's say you work a 40-hour-a-week job and you've always wanted to paint. I'm telling you that if you love painting, you will find a way that even when you're super tired, you're going to say, okay, on the weekend, that's my painting time. You are going to find a way to express love, to stick with love, and to hang in there. If you find that you have anything that is easy to let go of, if you're not able to stick with it through the challenges, you never loved it. You might have liked it, but you didn't love it. And then we have the card, if you need to ask questions about love, you already know the answer. So what we're saying here, child, if you're thinking to yourself, well, should I, maybe I should just, give my puppy away. Maybe sometimes loving your puppy is giving it away because, maybe you don't have the time to take proper care of it. What I'm saying is, if you need to ask questions about love, it just means that this is what I found. And I could be wrong, child. I could be wrong. To me, as a mom, as a grandmother, you could, if you were, asking me like, I didn't give up on my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna, it's clear to me. It's not something I have to think about. Or are you gonna do this for you? Of course I'm gonna do that. It's my baby. I think that sometimes when people are in relationships and when they really still love each other, they fight for that relationship. You know what I'm saying? But I think when you're asking questions like, well, should I do this? Or I'm not talking about extreme stuff, but I always feel like when people are like, not sure about what to do, I'm always telling them like, look, it's the fact that you're not sure is your answer. To me, it's proof that it's not where you need to be. If you don't, you have a job and you're constantly every day thinking about, should I look for a new job? that's your answer. You don't love it because what you love, you perfect. What you love, you stick to. What you truly love, you're willing to work through the difficulties. You're willing to work through the hard times. If you find yourself like, this is a little bit too tough for me, a little bit too crazy for me, it doesn't, and it don't feel bad about it. Oh, don't feel bad about it. It just means that you don't love it, but somebody else will, and you have to let whatever that, being or person or job, let it go so that the right person who really has the stick-to-itiveness, the person who really has the desire, the person who really truly loves it, they can be in that position. And I have one more card I want to discuss about this. Discover what you do better than most. This is your path to prosperity. Darling, let me tell you something. What you do better than most people, I promise you, is something that you love. It's something that you love. It's not going to be something that you're okay about. It's something that you loved enough to stick to. When I first started making dolls, I used to call, like, I'm a teacher. I teach psychology, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. And when I first started making dolls, probably about 10 years ago, I used to call my colleagues to see if they would substitute for me, because I was trying to learn how to make hands. And if you can see on some of the dolls' hands was, for some reason, they were so difficult for me. I was going to show you, but it was just really hard. Like, if you look at some of the doll hands, you'll see that it's just not, the thumbs are not in the correct spot. But I would make an arm or a leg over and over and over again. And I remember I would call my colleagues. I was like, can you please cover my class for me? And it was like, no. I was like, but it's such and such needs a leg, and I just can't, I can't find. I remember one time I ran out of fabric, and I went to every Joann's in the area that I lived in, because I had used all of it up. And each grain, sometimes, even though it's the same color, it may have a different shade. It won't look exactly like the other, but I ran out of it because I kept making the legs over and over and over and over again, and until I was able to get it right. But only love could do that. Love will make you cry yourself to sleep, but get up in the morning and say, you know what? This is what I'm going to do next time. I'm going to get it right this time. That's love. Love is an energy where you don't give up. If it's something, listen, child, let me tell you about you. If you want to make money from something, it has to be something that you're willing to stick to, something you're willing to do better than most people, something that you don't give up just because it got difficulty. The kids had to throwing spitballs, or you had a bad day and you had, everything you baked didn't turn out, and you decided you didn't want to bake anymore. No, that's not love, darling. If you're not crying and kicking your feet, if it's not driving you crazy, it's not love. It's just a little, it's just a little thing you're interested in. But anything you love, you're going to stick to. You're going to persevere. And I promise you, it is going to be the thing about you that inspires others. And it's going to be the thing that make you more beautiful, more magnificent, and more powerful than you ever imagined. I hope this video helps someone. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you, darling, in the next video.